Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to The Bunker. It's time for another voicemail. Today's voicemail has been left by a PIMO elder. I should just explain PIMO, or P-I-M-O, stands for physically in, mentally out. So we're dealing with, or we're hearing from an elder who has woken up from their indoctrination but is still inside the organization. So let's listen to what they have to say.
Yes, hello, Lloyd. I'm a PIMO elder, and I was just curious as to, what effect this question would have, or this event happening would have on Jehovah's Witness theology. What your guess would be, because SpaceX and all that, they're talking about putting mankind on the moon again, permanent base where there'll always be somebody on the moon. They're talking about doing the same thing on Mars. And so, there's a few different things associated with that in Jehovah's Witness theology. Number one, Satan was cast down to the earth, right? The vicinity of the earth. So would Satan have any influence on Mars and the moon? How would the governing body rectify that? And then also, talks about Armageddon happening here on Earth. So, for those of us that maybe go to Mars, maybe we're safe. We don't have to worry about Armageddon. It all sounds a little bit ridiculous, but scientifically speaking, we're in a position in our civilization where we're able to accomplish feats like this in the relatively near future. And the Bible doesn't make any mention of such things. So just wondering what you think the governing body might, come up with to rectify mankind's developments. The other curious thing to me regarding this would be the fact that when they were building the Tower of Babel, Jehovah confused the languages there because there was nothing that they couldn't accomplish. And so here we are, we're going to the moon, we're going to Mars. And why wouldn't he stop us from doing that? We are literally in the heavens. We're not building something that goes into the heavens. We're actually literally in the heavens now. How does the governing body rectify those things? Anyway, please don't mention my name, which I don't think I did mention. And I don't think I need to disguise my voice at all, because I'm sure there's several witnesses out there that have a voice similar to mine. So that was my question, Lloyd. Have a good day.
What an interesting question. Okay. Well, this is fascinating for me that I've been doing these voicemail videos for a few months now, and I've already had multiple elders, current presiding or current serving elders message me and send me voicemails. So, and I'm not really used to elders approaching me with questions, I have to say. So that's something that needs to be acclimatized to. But yes, as to your question, well, goodness knows what they would come up with. I think you're right. I think that civilization is reaching something of a crossroads with its capabilities in terms of, as you mentioned, space exploration and the permutations for our becoming a multi-planetary species. Let me deal with Armageddon first of all, because I think that's a fairly easy one. It's one thing to get to the moon. It's one thing to live on the International Space Station. It's one thing to get to Mars, but would human colonies or human presences on the moon or Mars be self-sufficient or independent from Earth? Arguably, the situation we're in now is that if there were to be an Armageddon, the slaughter would still hit colonizers on Mars or the moon. It would just be delayed because the shipments of supplies would cease. So they would starve to death or thirst to death or whatever. We're not yet at that point, are we, where colonies can exist independently of the Earth? And I don't think we will be at that point for quite some time to come. If we were to reach that point, yes, that would be an interesting theological conundrum. How can you have an Armageddon on Earth, but not one on the Mars or the moon, or at least an Armageddon that's not mentioned as also impacting Mars and the moon, and for that matter, the International Space Station? Satanic influence, I think that the governing body would weasel their way through that one way or the other. They would argue that, you know, humans are still subject to satanic influence when they get in a spacecraft and go on missions in Earth orbit or indeed on the moon. Demons can still ride with them. They have that power, or there's some other way in which demonic influence can affect people without the demons necessarily being there in the spacecraft with them. I'm sure they would come up with any number of fanciful, convoluted explanations as to why satanic influence isn't an issue. And you're right that, you know, the whole concept of the Tower of Babel seems laughable, doesn't it, in the context of what we're now seeing and the fact that humans can exist on the International Space Station for prolonged periods and even aspire to colonizing other worlds. So I agree with you for most of what you've said, that it would present a problem, but we're dealing with an organization that is founded on lies. Jehovah's Witness theology is just layer upon layer upon layer of lies, isn't it? So if they need to start lying about one more thing, or they need to come up with explanations for one more thing. I mean, an organization that's capable of coming up with the overlapping generations teaching is capable of coming up with something, even if it just doesn't fit whatsoever from a logical point of view. They're capable of at least spitting out something that followers are supposed to believe in, even if it makes no sense whatsoever. So for all of those issues, hypothetical scenarios that you raise, well, I say hypothetical, they're likelihoods in the not too distant future, we would assume or hope. Yeah, I don't think they pose too much of a problem. What I do think poses a significant theological problem, not just for Jehovah's Witnesses, but arguably for all of fundamentalist Christianity, is the prospect of discovering life on other worlds. And I don't think we're far off. We're surely not far off from that being the case. Once you encounter a life form on another world, once you establish that Mars, for example, isn't just some frigid red desert, that there is in fact life there that's flourishing, even if it's just on a microbial level, you then need to ask the question, well, why was this life designed? Why did Jehovah create this particular organism on Mars? Because isn't all life supposed to be for the enrichment of the human experience? Isn't all non-human life on our planet supposed to be to help us in some way? Isn't that sort of the message in Genesis? So why is God also allowing life or creating life so far away from where humans live when they could never realistically be expected to go out there and start enjoying it. That's microbial life or very primitive life. What if we, in our lifetime, encounter intelligent life, intelligent alien life? That would really be a problem, I think, for Christian theology. But this is all hypothetical, isn't it? I realise. But since you brought up space travel, I thought it was worth just registering that, yes, the things you mentioned are an issue, but are they as much of an issue theologically as the prospect of discovering life on other worlds? I would argue no. I think life on other worlds is a significant theological problem when you think about it, and it will have not just Jehovah's Witnesses but other fundamentalist Christian groups scratching around for some form of explanation, which will almost certainly be unpersuasive. But yes, thank you so much for calling in, and it's again nice to see elders calling through with voicemails. It would be nice to get another message from you at some point, if you feel able, about your current situation, and it would be nice to know more about why you feel you need to stay in the organisation and whether you have any plans to get out. Feel free to call through with another voicemail at some point if you have anything to say on that, or if you have any questions. But that's all we have time for. Don't forget that if you would like to leave a voicemail, the thing to do is go to speakpipe.com/Cedars, remembering to indicate clearly if you don't want me to broadcast your message. But that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for more such videos. And as always, thank you for watching.